Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we're here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 3, the Status Quo, Chapter 18, Text 13. Maitreya Uvacha Sudikshito Bhagavata Pralabdas Charu Sabrisham Ajaharo Banham Krodam Krijamano Hiradiva. Sri Maitreya said, the demon, being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead, became angry and agitated. He trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. Purport. A cobra is very fierce before ordinary persons, but before an enchanter who can play with him, he is a plaything. Similarly, a demon may be very powerful in his own domain, but before the Lord, he is insignificant. The demon Ravana was a fierce figure before the demigods, but when he was before the Lord, Ramachandra, he trembled and prayed to his deity, Lord Shiva, but to no avail. Text 14. Srijannam harsitasvasan manu prachalitendriya asadyatara sadaityo gadaya nyahadadarim. Hissing indignantly, all his senses shaken by wrath, the demon quickly sprang upon the Lord and dealt him with a blow with his powerful mace. Text 15. Bhagavam stu gadavegam vishrishtam ripunorasi avanchayat tirasino yogarudha evantakam. The Lord, however, by moving slightly aside, dodged the violent mace blow aimed at his breast by the enemy, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death. Purport. The example is given herein that the perfect yogi can overcome a death blow, although it is offered by the laws of nature. It is useless for a demon to beat the transcendental body of the Lord with a powerful mace, for no one can surpass his prowess. Those who are advanced transcendentalists are freed from the laws of nature, and even a death blow cannot act on them. Superficially, it may seem that a yogi is attacked by a death blow, but by the grace of the Lord, he can overcome any such attacks for the service of the Lord. As the Lord exists by his own independent prowess, by the grace of the Lord, the devotees also exist for his service. Text 16. Punhargadam svam adaya brahmayantam abhikshanas abhyadhavadari krudha samrambhad dastadachadam. The personality of Godhead now exhibited his anger and rushed to meet the demon, who bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about. Text 17. Tatascha gadayaratim dakshinasyam bruvi prabhu ajage satutam samya gadaya kovidohanat. When with his mace the Lord struck the enemy on the right of his brow, but since the demon was expert in fighting, O gentle Vidura, he protected himself by a maneuver of his own mace. 18. Evam gadpayam gurvibhyam aryaksho harir evacha chigishaya sushamrabhav anyonyam abhijagunat anyonyam abhijagnatu. In this way, the demon Hiraṇyākṣa and the Lord, the personality of Godhead, struck each other with their huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. Purport. Hiraṇyākṣa is another name. Hiraṇyākṣa is another name for Hiraṇyākṣa, the demon. 19. Ayos prados tigma gadahan hatan gayo shatashrava grana vivridamanyova vichitramargams charaturjigasaya vyabhad ilyam iva sushmainur mridaha. There was keen rivalry between the two combatants. Both had sustained injuries on their bodies from the blows of each other's pointed maces, and each grew more and more enraged at the smell of blood on his person. In their eagerness to win, they performed maneuvers of various kinds, and their contest looked like an encounter between two forceful bulls for the sake of a cow. Purport. Here, the Earth planet is called Ila. This Earth was formerly known as Ila Vrittavarsha, and when Maharaj Parikshit ruled the Earth, it was called Bharatavarsha. Actually, Bharatavarsha is the name for the entire planet, but gradually Bharatavarsha has come to mean India. As India has recently been divided into Pakistan and Hindustan, similarly, the Earth was formerly called Ila Vrittavarsha, but gradually as time passed, it was divided by national boundaries. Text 20. Daityasya yagyavayasya maya grihitavaraha panur mahatmana koravyamhayam visatur vimardhanam Didrikshur agad rishi bir vratasvarat. O descendant of Kuru, Brahma, the most independent demigod of the universe, accompanied by his followers, came to see the terrible fight for the sake of the world between the demon and the personality of Godhead, who appeared in the form of a boar. Purport. The fight between the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the demon is compared to a fight between bulls for the sake of a cow. The Earth planet is also called Go, or cow. As bulls fight between themselves to ascertain who will have union with a cow, there is always a constant fight between the demons and the Supreme Lord or his representative for supremacy over the earth. Here, the Lord is significantly described as Yagyavayava. One should not consider the Lord to have the body of an ordinary boar. He can assume any form, and he possesses all such forms eternally. It is from him that all other forms have emanated. This boar form is not to be considered the form of an ordinary hog. His body is actually full of yagya, or worshipful offerings. Yagya, sacrifices, are offered to Vishnu. Yagya means the body of Vishnu. His body is not material, therefore he should not be taken to be an ordinary boar. Brahma is described in this verse as Svarat. Actually, full independence is exclusive to the Lord himself, but as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, every living entity has a minute quantity of independence. Each and every one of the living entities within this universe has this minute independence, but Brahma, being the chief of all living entities, has a greater potential of independence than any other. He is the representative of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and has been assigned to preside over universal affairs. All other demigods work for him, therefore he is described as Svarat. He is always accompanied by great sages and transcendentalists, all of whom came to see the bullfight between the demon and the Lord. Text 21. Ashana sundaram apeta sadvasam krita pratikaram ahaya vikramam ilaksha daityam bhagavan sahasranir jagada narayanam adishukaram. After arriving at the place of combat, Brahma, the leader of thousands of sages and transcendentalists, saw the demon who had attained such unprecedented power that no one could fight with him. Brahma then addressed Narayan, who was assuming the form of a boar for the first time. Texts 22 through 23. Brahma uvacha ishate deva devanam angrimulam upeyusham prapranam sorabeinam bhutanam apyanagasam agaskridbhaya kriduskrid asmad radha varosura anveshan apratirtrato lokan atati kantaka. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, this demon has proved to be a constant pinprick to the demigods, the brahmanas, the cows, and innocent persons who are spotless and always dependent upon worshiping your lotus feet. He has become a source of fear by unnecessarily harassing them. Since he has attained a boon from me, he has become a demon, always searching for a proper combatant, wandering all over the universe for this infamous purpose." Purport. There are two classes of living entities. One is called Sura, or the demigods, and the other is called Asura, or the demons. Demons are generally fond of worshiping the demigods, and there are evidences that by such worship they get extensive power for their sense gratification. This later proves to be a cause of trouble to the brahmanas, demigods, and their innocent living entities. Demons habitually find fault with the demigods, brahmanas, and innocent, to whom they are a constant source of fear. The way of the demon is to take power from the demigods and then tease the demigods themselves. There is an instance of a great devotee of Lord Shiva who obtained a boon from Lord Shiva that the head of whomever he touched with his hand would come off its trunk. As soon as the boon was offered to him, the demon wanted to touch the very head of Lord Shiva. That is their way. The devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not, however, ask any favor for sense gratification. Even if they are offered liberation, they refuse it. They are happy simply engaging in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And about Pranam Bhakti Ras. Text 24. Mainam maya vinam driptam nirankusham asattamam akrida balavadeva ratashi visham uhitam. Lord Brahma continued, "My dear Lord, there is no need to play with this serpentine demon who is always very skilled in conjuring tricks and is arrogant, self-sufficient, and most wicked." Purport. No one is unhappy when the serpent is killed. It is a practice among village boys to catch a serpent by the tail and play with it for some time and then kill it. Similarly, the Lord could have killed the demon at once, but he played with him in the same way as a child plays with a snake before killing it. Brahma requested, however, that since the demon was more wicked and undesirable than a serpent, there is no need to play with him. It was his wish that he be killed at once without delay. Text 25. Mayavadesha vardeta swamvelam prapya daruna swamdeva mayam astaya avajjahyagam achuta. Brahma continued, "My dear Lord, you are infallible. Please kill this sinful demon before the demoniac hour arrives and he presents another formidable approach favorable to him. You can kill him by your internal potency without a doubt." 26. Esha Guratama Sandhya Loka Chambatkari Prabhu Upasarpati Sarvatman Suranam Jayamavaha. My Lord, the darkest evening which covers the world is fast approaching. Since you are the soul of all souls, kindly kill him and win victory for the demigods. 27. Adhunaisho bijinama yogo marhurtu kohyagat shibhaya nastvam surhridam asunishtara dushtaram. The auspicious period known as Abhijit, which is most opportune for victory, commenced at midday and has all but passed. Therefore, in the interest of your friends, please dispose of this formidable foe quickly. '28. Distyatvam vihitam rityam ayam asadita svayam vikramyayinam ridhe hatva lokan adehi sharmani. This demon, luckily for us, has come of his own accord to you, his death ordained by you. Therefore, exhibiting your ways, kill him in the duel and establish the worlds in peace. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Battle Between Lord Boar and the Demon Hiraṇyākṣa. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 19 on Friday. Are there any comments or questions from the devotees? Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Prabhupada Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Dev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Anuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the worldwide devotees. Samba Bhakti Veda Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Nishangapali Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagi Ki Jai. Jai Scientific Sankirtan Yagi Ki Jai. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Jai Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Institute Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Bo. Hari Bo. Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Jai Sri Bhaktaras Prabhu Ki Jai. Hari Bo.
Jai. Sripad Krishna Keshav Prabhu Ji Ki Jai. Dhanyavad Pranam.
Dhanyavad Stili.